Good morning, YouTube. I just wanted to give you a quick update on the money supply. As you know, the money supply is the source of inflation. Inflation is, by definition, the decreasing value of your money. And a lot of people get confused about the cost of goods, the cost of oil, commodities prices, and all those things that can affect those prices, and trying to predict those. When, if you want to look at the direction of inflation, the direction of the value of your money, the underlying causes, what you can look at is just the M2 money supply. And so let's look at that and let's see what exactly has caused inflation rates to go down as far as prices in the industry. So real quick, here is the money supply. It's called the M2 money supply in the US. As you can see, a dramatic increase in the money supply here, up to 21 trillion from 15, and this includes all deposits, all loans. This is basically the top level money supply that includes M0 and M1, which are like cash equivalents of those things. So up here, you can see from here to here, this is called inflation. It's an exact measure of inflation. It pushes the underlying cost of goods up and services. And so you'll see here you went from $21.7 trillion down to $21 trillion. Total money supply out there. Now, $700 billion, just under that, was removed from the marketplace. And so we see all the things happening. We see the Fed rates, we see the banks, we see all these things occurring. But let's see exactly what is causing this reduction in the money supply. So from 703 to 62 is about 600 and something. Let's just switch right over here. Let's see. Fed balance sheet, $8.9 trillion, down to 8.32. So over $600 billion in this almost just high $600 billion in reduction of the empty money supply came directly from the Fed reducing their balance sheet. So what was the effect of interest rate increases? Well, if we take this difference here, we say 939 minus 339, you get $600 billion. You flip back over here, and let's get this time period here. Time period is March 28th. Okay, April 25th, right there. Let's go back to here. Let's pick out April 21.678. Let's look at the reduction to today, 62. So $635 billion of this was the total reduction, and the total reduction here was, as we said, $600 billion. So, of the $630 billion reduction in the empty money supply, $600 billion was based on the Fed reducing its balance sheet, moving money from the market. And so the effect of interest rates then would be $30 billion of the 600 and some. Wow, that is really impressive. So, as you can see, I mean, a lot of the talk in the market and everything is about interest rates. Interest rates going up, the effects on bank, how that affects the economy. But when you get down to it, you're talking about 90-some% of the effect of what's happening came from the Fed reducing its balance sheet. And that reduction in balance sheet reduces money in banks in different places and decreases the money supply. So I just wanted to look at that, and I really mostly looked at this real time. I noticed this morning and I wanted to share it with you. And so this is what you want to look at to see what's happening with inflation. Now, the interesting thing about inflation is, the Fed is like, we're fighting inflation. But if you look at the chart here of their balance sheet, they created the inflation. And so, of course, they could fight the inflation, because if you know exactly what created the inflation, then you can fight it. Now, the question would be more around the lines of, why did they create inflation if they just were going to come back and fight the inflation? That I don't know. Part of this was reacting to COVID and trying to get the economy not to crash when everybody was staying home. So they injected a lot of money into the system, and now it's about correcting for that injection. And you know, they put in how much here? 3.7 trillion to, so they put in like 6 trillion, take back out 600 billion, a tenth of it, and oh, problem solved, right? But you know, they put some back in right here because of the banks. Because the problems with the banks, they had to increase their balance sheet a little bit to solve that problem. So I don't think they can go back to this level. Obviously, everything would crash and burn. But I wanted to take some time this morning just to explain that to you. Hope you get something out of it, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.